just to point out some things. Oh, is it starting recording? Good. All right. I'm just quickly looking at question 6. Did I print this out for you guys? Some of you guys might have it because I think I printed out 8 and maybe 6. I can't remember. I just want to point this out to you guys because we haven't seen an empirical question before. So I just want to do some like quick notes on it so you know how to tackle it, because I can ask these sort of questions on the exam and I want you guys to be ready for it. So something to keep in mind with the empirical formula here is that I am basically giving you a hint on what the mass of the ion is. So like I said, in the assessment, there are 3 ways I will give mass. First way is that I give you a mass spectra, and it's really obvious based on the peak that that is the molecular ion. In this case, it is not obvious. You see how there's lots of tiny ones? So option number 2 is I label it and I go M plus equals and I give you a number. I have not done that again in this case either. And the reason why is because I have given you a hint up here, which is the empirical formula. Okay, so just be mindful there are 3 ways to find molecular ion. Either it's going to be obvious that it's a peak, it's going to be labeled, or I'm going to give you an empirical formula to help you find it. What that then means is that the empirical formula, do the calculation to figure out what the mass is of that. So I have carbon, and I have 2 of them, so that's 24, plus 5, because that's the hydrogen, plus another 16. Are we okay with how I got there? So total for this is 45, and so what that means is that my molecular ion needs to be a multiple of 45. So if I times that ratio by 2, I would have C4H10O. 2, sorry, forgot the 2 there. When I check the ratio, I see that it's times 2 plus 2. So what that tells me is no double bond. And that fits with what I'm seeing here because I can see there's an alcohol, but there's no carbonyl. So if I times it by 2, I'd have 45 times 2, which is 90. And that is then your hint that the peak is actually at 90, which is really tiny right here. Okay? Are we okay with that? So 45 is obviously like a very common fragment, but you can see that there's fragments after that, or sorry, before that, bigger fragments. So that tells you that the 45 is not the peak of the ion. So it's not the molecular ion, so you know you have to have some multiple of it. So if I times it by 2, I get 90, and 90 is what I want for the answer. If I times it by 3, I have 135, and the scale doesn't go to 135. So that's how you know it's that one. Okay? So just be mindful of that hint there, that if I don't label it or it's not obvious, then use the empirical formula. The empirical formula tells you it has to be a ratio of it. The empirical formula will also tell you information such as what functional group is present. So you can look very quickly. There's no nitrogen in this formula, so you should not be assuming that this is an amine in any way. Plus, it doesn't look like an amine. All right? Cool. I will leave you with that. That's all I wanted to kind of add because I know we haven't done a question like this before. And yeah, that's basically it. Hello. Oh, goodbye.